we're live on Facebook. Finally, Red Pill Expo counting down for 2019. And I have not only an amazing individual, but someone that's helping me with my technological challenges and figuring out the Red Pill page. So Carmen, you're from State of Anarchy, Philadelphia. You guys are coming down all the way to the Red Pill Expo in Hartford. And I know you're excited, but can you tell everybody else why you're so excited to come to the Red Pill Expo 2019 in Hartford, Connecticut in 2 weeks?
I'm so excited because I can't wait to interview and talk to all of the amazing speakers that are going to be there, like Robert Kiyosaki, because that Rich Dad, Poor Dad thing, dude, I'm from like the poor dad's neighborhood. So it's going to be awesome to,
so Friday night is this amazing, I mean, I told you I homeschooled my 6 kids, and we have a whole section on the educational system that starts on Friday, but Friday night is going to be exceptional because G. Edward Griffin and Robert Kiyosaki are going to share the stage teaching everything you didn't learn in high school about money. And I think specifically for the millennial population, I mean, I have 6 kids between the ages of 16 and 28. And even as a homeschooling parent and someone that took education into our own hands, I realized not too long ago when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and got turned on to Robert Kiyosaki, because really he's truly an educator in teaching people about money, just like Ed. But I realized, like, even with all the effort I made to homeschool them, I still hadn't taught them anything about money because I had never been taught about money. So how can you teach something if you don't know? It's the same with the red pill. You don't know something until you know you don't know it. Right? And that's what the red pill is all about.
Exactly. It's about facing the fact that, look, there's some things that you might not be aware of that, you know, might not be pretty at first, but once you become aware of them, they become empowering because you're no longer a victim to them and your ignorance of them.
So you're like in the beginning of this journey, like what was, and I know this is totally spontaneous, but now I'm really curious, like what was your red pill? I mean, how did you get to this point where you kind of what we call woke?
All right. I'll never forget it. Pretty much like there were like just sort of like nagging things throughout your life that, you know, raise questions. Like I remember the first time somebody showed me a documentary about the food industry and I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird, but it's just in the back. Then some other shit, it's just in the back. And then finally in college, I met this guy who blew my mind because I was a sophomore in college, broke as a joke, and this dude didn't go to school, instead opened his own business as a tech startup dude and basically just installed hardware networks for, you know, companies that don't know anything about technology and made a fortune. And I'm like, this dude is so smart. And he's like, dude, you got to watch this movie. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's called Zeitgeist, dude. It's about like all this crazy stuff.
That was part of our homeschooling curriculum, by the way. I showed that in my cafe.
Amazing. Yeah, well, it's a great, like that package that you get, that 3-part, and you should watch all 3. Don't ever just watch one. Watch the whole thing. Yep. In the whole thing. That takes you through a lot of it. I mean, like, it captivates you with the astrotheology thing, because that right away, before it even got to what really red pilled me, I was like, oh, this is cool, because like I was raised Catholic and I always wonder where these fucking crazy stories came from, and it all makes sense now. They all just come from the stars. There's a bunch of humans just looking up at the sky and making up stories around the campfire or whatever. And then it gets that 9/11 thing, and I was in school as an engineer. I was literally studying statics, which is the physics of basically, you know, objects that aren't moving, you know, essentially how the forces get delegated in structures, essentially. Right. And like, I'm learning about how, like, you know, force failures and all this crazy stuff in buildings. And then I'm watching these buildings like fly down like an amusement ride. And I'm like, all right, hang on, wait a second. That's physically impossible. And that moment is like the red pill moment where I was like, okay, hang on, I got to take a step back now, like a big step back. Like I missed a couple things.
I think that was a big red pill for many people. And I think it opened up a lot of people with the 9/11. And we have Richard Gage coming. Have you met him yet?
No, I have not. I'm very excited.
You must be super excited to interview him.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be phenomenal, specifically with your interest in architecture and all of that. I mean, he's like, you know, a renowned truther. We had him back in the day. We used to offend people in our cafe because we had 9/11 stuff all over. We had this big chalkboard that was like the whole wall. And, you know, I mean, literally, it's like, if you want to eat at our cafe, you can't. They're like, could you guys have to put all this stuff on the wall? Like information. A lot of people were offended about the 9/11, and now, I mean, we're so far, but there's some new information that Richard's going to be sharing that's coming out. So that's going to be really paramount for people and bringing together around all these different issues. I mean, Federal Reserve, around money, around educational system. You mentioned, like, I mean, healthcare, food system, big pharma, 5G, huge issue that we're addressing this year.
I'm so happy. Thank
really
you.
Touching on the weaponization, we'll be showing the 5G, the apocalypse that Sasha Stone did, and We'll be carrying some of the red pill energy to the festival in Bali that they're doing over there, the New Earth Festival, 2 weeks after the red pill. But definitely want to encourage people who may have that sense that something's not quite right. You know, it's like our tagline, you know something's wrong. Something's not quite right. Things aren't adding up. And this is an invitation for everyone to join us for this weekend, to just with an open mind, because we're not conspiracy theories, maybe conspiracy realists, but we're laying down the facts. I mean, this is not a lot of hype. This is the way G. Edward Griffin kind of gathers this incredible group. We have 25 speakers on stage, one at a time, right after each other, is this conglomerate of information that is steeped in science and facts. This is not just like, you know, people spewing off because they want to be on some podium, but this is really about people that have actually been red pilled themselves, that most of them have had that personal experience, that they did the research, they like got into it, just like Richard Gage and just like G. Edward Griffin when he wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island, that they just immersed themselves and did the research, just like Del Bigtree. And vaccines is a really hot topic, and he's coming, and we're super excited because that's such an issue everywhere, but even right here in Connecticut where I am, that this is information that people need the truth on. So I'm so glad that you guys are going to be there helping us document this epic historical event, and that we're representing this millennial population. I'm pulling in all the moms. We have everybody that's showing up for this. So make sure you get there. Hopefully this is recording. We have no idea what we're doing. I don't know how to.
Actually, I'm very confident that it is both recording and streaming correctly.
Great, because that's because you helped me, Carmen. So I'm glad you do. And I have no idea how to turn it off. I don't know what to do at this point because we've just been talking about it. All right, everyone. We hope to see you at the Red Pill Expo 2 weeks from today, 2019, in Hartford, Connecticut, June 7th through the 9th. You can go to www.redpillexpo.org to register and make sure you get there.
And use code TSOA to save some money.
Yes. Thanks, Carmen.
All right. See ya. Bye, guys.
Join the State of Anarchy this September's Harvest Moon in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where this gathering of like minds aims to foster unbreakable relationships between the movement's leading forces, whom teach self-love and ownership, blockchain techno-economics, as well as exposing the Earth's sacred hidden knowledge. So will we see you there?
If our content resonates with you, then definitely subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button. Otherwise, you will not get notified when we drop dope videos like this. Share it, like it, or even dislike it, but let us know why in the comments below. Hook us up with a crypto tip. Check us out on Patreon. Anarchadelphia is going to be sick. Tickets are already selling. First come, first serve, because we can only sell so many unless we get a bigger venue. You can go to anarchadelphia.com to get your tickets at early bird rate right now. Or you can just go to the State of Anarchy and go through the shop. We got some dope swag. We're also going to be at Anarcho Vegas, July 19th through 21st. And then we'll be at the Red Pill Expo, June 7th through 9th in Hartford, Connecticut.